Yeah, my name is Karl Duffy. I'm Social Inclusion Manager with Carlow County Development Partnership from the county of Carlow in Ireland. And we are a local development company. We are based on an understanding of integral development of all persons in society, a development that is not just based on their economic worth but on their social, cultural, personal development. And we work with individuals and groups to support them along their path towards fuller development and responding to the challenges which face them in society. We were back 10 years ago now, we received a telephone call to invite us to be part of an interagency partnership to respond to the Rohingya community who were being resettled in the town of Carlow. And as part of that initial group, made up of the government sector, statutory sector, and we representing, along with others, the community and voluntary sector, we put together a programme of activities to welcome the Rohingya to Ireland, a country they'd never even heard of, and they arrived in the middle of the night cold and afraid. And we put together groups of people to welcome them, to host them, houses for them to live in, and then a series of programmes and initiatives to teach them English and to help them settle in our town. Well, I suppose it's a testimony to something that all but one of the original families are still living in our town. They have had their children there, their children are going to school there, they're going to university there. And from that initial resettlement period, we have continued to support the community with a number of programs, ourselves and other organisations, programs of personal development, programs to help individuals get work, sports and cultural programs to help the community integrate into our town and into Irish society as full and equal citizens. The initial programme on behalf of the interagency group was a 2-year programme consisting of welcoming events to introduce the Rohingya people to the Irish community, English language programmes. Volunteers were trained as befrienders, and each one worked with families to ensure that they could find their way around, could reach schools, could reach whatever they needed at that time. And there were other programs of support and counselling, and housing was obviously provided by the local authorities. The importance of this partnership approach is that equally governmental sector, the agency sectors like health and the police, and the voluntary sector and community sector, which we support, all work together to provide an integrated response to the settlement of refugees in the town. There were some things that surprised, in the sense that it was always a challenge at the start, with people arriving quite frightened after many years of persecution in the camps. It is not an easy process. However, we must say, what much more than the difficulties we have faced, it has been a huge enrichment for our town and for our county. The community there have settled in, are fully part of the Carlow society. You see them going to school, you see them going to university, you see them around the town, and also they have contributed hugely to the town and to the various organisations that are within the town. And also even little things like, there used to be a cricket club in Carlow which had become defunct, and with the arrival of the Rohingya community, Carlow Cricket Club started again and is now a thriving cricket club in Ireland. It's hugely important that any resettlement programme is embedded in the local community, that local people are involved from the very start in the planning, in the design of programmes, and that communities themselves are the host, not the government, not agencies. So in a very practical way, for example, in our own company we have run a language programme over the last few years which called Fáilte Isteach, which in Ireland means welcome in, and it's a national programme which we run in Carlow, and in it local people are trained up as volunteers to hold English language classes, just conversational classes, and in that way they simultaneously help refugees with their English, but also they welcome people into the community over a cup of tea, and in that way values are shared, experiences are shared, and people feel part of home. Yeah, from the very start, as I say, this interagency process comprised of government, comprised of agencies, but also comprised of the police and the health service. And the police in our county are very anxious to meet with members of different migrant communities, and from the start have been part of the solution. And that for us in Ireland was quite natural. It was only when we spoke with members of the Rohingya community and with other communities who have come to our county that we realised that this is not automatic in every other country, and that they were quite suspicious of the police being in the room, because normally their experience of the police or of the military is of persecution, and not to see the police being there as part of a support for their settlement in the county. And I must pay tribute to the current Commissioner as well, who continually is organising events in our county to acquaint himself with the different nationalities who are there, and also to let them see that the police are there as a support. My company is a development company based on an understanding of real development. And there's a challenge for us in Ireland that we create a society where everyone is valued equally. And this is a huge challenge for us in Ireland, which until 20 years ago had very few migrants or new communities. So it is a challenge for us to understand what a new multicultural county looks like, what a new multicultural Ireland looks like. And myself and some other agencies are working together at the moment on behalf of the LCDC, which is another partnership structure which looks at government, or which looks at development in the county. And we are leading out on the development of a new integration and inclusion strategy for the county, and trying to work out what a multicultural Ireland looks like. Because traditionally we have been fairly homogenous, Catholic, white, Irish. And for us it's a challenge to develop a society which celebrates difference and yet maintains our distinctive Irishness. And that for us over the next few years is a challenge, because 11%, 12% of our county is made up now of people who are not born in Ireland, and they have brought a huge enrichment to our county, and we're trying to celebrate that but understand it at the same time.